This week on Reliving the Extreme, we are reviewing the episode of ECW from August the 15th, 1995. Nate Maxon, your host, here with you, along with my brother Aaron.
Hello, everybody.
Mr. Chad Austin.
Aloha.
And
Mr. Hand.
lots of stuff going on in this episode of ECW. The gist of it is we are seeing footage. We're starting to see footage from WrestlePalooza, which that WrestlePalooza, as we discussed last week, is not available on the Cox. So we did not watch WrestlePalooza. So we are watching these episodes of TV. I don't even know if this WrestlePalooza is on YouTube. I honestly didn't.
It's not.
Okay.
I did. I thought I found it, but it was just some fucking neckbeard did it with his fucking TK13 or
yeah, I hate that shit. You're like, oh, this show's on YouTube, and then you go and it's some fucking basement dweller playing it on his PlayStation, or even worse, it's some guy narrating a review of it.
Isn't that what we're doing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but this fucking guy has so much time on his hand that he
got so much time on his hand. What?
He was able to do a creator wrestler Big Val Puccio.
That's exactly what I was about to say. He was able to create Big Val Puccio on his PlayStation. That takes all the pixels. It takes all the pixels.
Damn, dude, could that be a selling point for like if you're doing a video game when you describe like pixels or whatever, and you're like, but look at Big Val Puccio.
Puccio in high definition. That's impressive.
Everybody,
your PlayStation's gonna run hot, but
I mean, what's the next best thing? Big Val Puccio in 3D.
This kid's like, I went through 3 bags of pizza rolls creating Val Puccio.
Yeah, my mom yelled at me. I did math homework. It'd be even worse, she was doing Steiner math homework. Some mullet head sitting home.
Val Puccio eats 33 1/3 of a pizza.
Pie. Fuck. Hey man, did I show you guys the new book my wife got me for my notes?
No.
Oh, hang on. I'll just try to see if I can turn the phone around. Can you see it? You see it?
50 years of being a fucking legend.
Right on. I was going to drop the M-bomb real quick, but I ain't Tony Atlas. He's black. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Wasn't that the name of Lemonhead's autobiography?
50 years of being a fucking legend. Only if Marty wrote it. 50 years of being a bobblehead. And then it's before, and then she wrote she put like quotations like 1980 or something like that. So it was before bobbleheads were made, just so she can sue them.
With a forward by Danny Hodge.
Yeah.
It's gonna read a little dry.
Dory Funk Sr. I don't even know that guy even really existed. I don't know. The guy's built on a bluff like Memphis.
I've never seen footage of him.
No. Everybody, Terry talks about how great of a wrestler his father was. I ain't fucking never hear him beat anybody. He never even beat Mr. Wrestling number 3. For Christ's sake.
Dory Funk Sr. born in Rio de Janeiro.
Oh, there's no chance that Dory Funk Sr. was in Rio de Janeiro unless I was a porn star in the 40s. I was in Rio de Janeiro's pants. Oh, all right. Good for you.
At a club called Miss Kitty's.
Yeah. Could you imagine just like how many stories that bar brings up if you talk about anybody, if you can go back and talk to anybody in that time period, because everybody's dead. Tommy Rich, Blackwell, Brody.
Tommy Rich is not dead.
He's dead. He's come on. Him and the Pit Bulls.
He's close, but he ain't dead.
Yeah, he's close enough that you can't ask him about any stories about Miss Kitties. Tommy Rich, seriously, he's been dead for a long time.
Somebody say something about changing my diaper.
Somebody say something about 6 feet deep.
We went to an indie show in this town, though, and remind you, this town only has 13,000 people in it, and it was at an armory, and Nate and I were outside smoking a cigarette, and then we just heard this guy go, "Excuse me," he said, "Excuse me," and walked in between us, and it was fucking Tommy Rich, and he walked in and got in like a Ford Escort.
He didn't ask somebody about he didn't walk in and say something about Fired Up, and then he asked he didn't ask where can Wildfire get some crack.
No, he went out and was like, "I don't think my Ford Escort's going to fire up."
No, my Ford Escort's not going to fire up on all cylinders. Dude, I'm telling you, that wasn't my first time. It wasn't my first time dealing with Tommy. I dealt with Tommy in the mid 90s, but I when he came to ECW, and I was with Axel, and we didn't even know this, but we were just a half an hour behind him. Walked into a convenience store, and then this lady's just yelling because but we were already in the store. I'm sorry, a half an hour in front of him, and he walks in and he's yelling, "Somebody say something about Fired Up," and then we looked and it was him, and then he asked the fucking girl at the counter, "Anybody know where Wildfire can get some crack at?" And me and Axel were looking at each other like Tommy Rich is just rolling into the store, a convenience store. "Somebody tell me where Wildfire can get some crack." And oh, good night. He was a fish out of water when we're talking. I think it was in Connecticut. Or somewhere up, in my neck of the woods that was not my neck of the woods. You know what I mean? Up, and there's this fucking guy from Henderson, Tennessee, in there harassing some young lady about where can he find some crack.
The definition of "I don't give a fuck."
No, dude. And I thought I use him as my barometer every day before I lose my shit. What would Wildfire do? I just asked for crack. You got your receipt? By the way, you got any crack?
WWFD? What would Wildfire do?
Wildfire smoke.
Get it on one of those little leather bracelets.
And then we met him again. We met him again at a convention, and I got his autograph. And he was like, "Where are you going next?" Because he had all the tables were set up or whatever. He's like, "Where are you going next?" Because I just got his autograph. I had him sign his WCW card. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get Honky Tonk Man autograph and maybe a picture." And he's like, "I'll tell you what." He's like, "You don't give that motherfucker your money, I'll give you a free picture and another autograph." And then he was like, "Fuck you, Honky Tonk Man," and yelled it across the fucking building. I don't know what his problem was with Honky Tonk Man was, but it was funny.
I don't know. You know what? That's kind of like a great myth that I'd love to hear about. What is the deal with Honky Tonk Man and people from that area and that time period? Because he's Lawler's cousin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what, and then when he was there, he was only there with Latham.
Right.
What, 79, 80? And as far as I know, he never came back, right?
I don't
know.
because
he went to Calgary. So. He left there, and then he went to Calgary, and then he went to Vince. I don't think he went anywhere other than that, until he went to WCW.
Well, you know what? I've never seen him in WCW. Never.
He was literally only there for about a month and a half, And
well, he was still on TV, right?
Yeah, no, yes, he had vignettes, and then he was supposed to wrestle Johnny B. Bad, I think, at a Starrcade, and he was told that Johnny B. Bad was going to go over, and he pretty much said it didn't work for him, and Eric Bischoff said, "Well, then get the fuck out," and that was.
Do you blame him?
No.
Bischoff or Honky?
Either one. Yeah. I could see Honky Tonk Man saying that because Honky Tonk Man, he never put anybody over because he never did a job. He never put anybody over in WWE. Like what? He put the Warrior over, and that was just over giving him his money, and then he was gone, right?
He put Warrior over. He put Hogan over. That's about it. I mean, other than that,
did he really put Hogan over?
Okay, I'll say this: he put Hogan over. He never put. I don't think he ever put Hogan over on TV, but I know they did have a house show run, and Hogan went over him on that. But after his singles run, they put him in that tag team with Valentine, and I think every time they lost, Valentine took the fall. I don't think Honky ever took.
I'm telling you, dude, Honky Tonk would never do a job. He would just I the only reason why I bring this up because not only because I did it that I hear the story about it, but like being on the independents as much as I was on a million. I played golf with a fucking idiot before, and I had to call him Honky. Well, we were just playing golf, and I'm like, all right, you're up next, Honky. And I think the people around us thought I was racist or something.
Honky's under par.
Yeah. There you go, the name of the show. Yeah, but yeah, he always was like he always got heat. Like even just being like himself and stuff and whatever, man. I guess it works for me, so I guess. Except I ain't gotta grow the big mutton chops and look all goofy and shit and walk around screaming my long sideburns and my hair slicked back and coming to your town in your black Cadillac or whatever the fuck it was.
It was pink.
It was pink. Got Peggy Lee.
But it's like, was it Bundy? Bundy said he was talking to Honky and how he was talking about Vince and the WWF calling him and like kept calling him wanting to go in the fucking Hall of Fame, and nobody would call Bundy, and Bundy was like, you were a fucking asshole the entire time you were there, and he's like, I was a fucking church mouse, I didn't say a goddamn thing, and nobody's calling me. He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude, I mean that makes sense. I mean, we talked about Bundy before, whether it was on the show or off the show. Yeah, Bundy wasn't what was he gonna give a shit? You know what I mean? Whatever. He already been through what? Ole, Fritz. I mean, yeah, he's already seen enough. Just let the poor guy just do his shit. And then you got Honky Tonk Man coming around with he don't have an upper lip or some shit. Fuck, I don't know what his problem is.
This episode of ECW starts with Joey talking about, like I said, WrestlePalooza. And I don't know, would you?
Sorry.
Yeah. Would you guys be all right if I this whole thing of Joey going through all this stuff that happened with this thing with the Gangstas and the Public Enemy and Sandman and Mikey? I don't want to read my notes. Can we just listen to Joey describe it? Is that okay?
I mean, is that okay with our podcast provider and the WWE?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'm using it for it's for what do I say, historical purposes or whatever. Yeah. So
Brian Last does a Mid-South fucking podcast and just plays the entire
dude,
show,
doesn't he?
So
yeah.
Lazy booking.
and who's the old guy? I can't remember his name off the top of my head. The guy with the suits.
Reeser Bowden.
Yeah. Why isn't he getting some proceeds from Brian on that podcast? That's all you hear is Reeser Bowden.
Reeser Bowden and Bill Watts. It's just.
All right,
Brian goes, that was entertaining. Let's listen to the next thing.
Yeah, that was it. And then we got Kamala.
40 million fucking viewers. What the fuck? But go ahead.
But yes, for all intents and purposes, folks, I'm just going to let Joey, instead of me reading my rambling notes here, we'll let Joey describe all this chaos from WrestlePalooza, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
That picture looks perverse to Joey, by the way.
On next week's program, but right here, right now, is a brief recap. Following a confrontation in the ring, the Sandman caned Mikey into almost unconsciousness. At that point, referee Jim Molyneux stepped in, fearing for Mikey's well-being and career, and told the Sandman if he did not cease and desist the caning, he would be stripped of the ECW World Heavyweight title. The Sandman, of course, did not care, but woman who just loves that gold ordered the Sandman to stop the caning. Mikey Whipwreck was removed physically from the ring, but the Sandman, the World Heavyweight Champion, would not leave. He staged a sit-in, stated that he was there to smoke cigarettes, drink beer, and cane somebody. He would not leave the ring. He was delaying the entire card. Promoters had to continue the show. Therefore, the Public Enemy's music rang out, and the Public Enemy entered the ring to start their stretcher match with the Gangsters. The Public Enemy, the Mac Daddies of Violence, confronted the World Heavyweight Champion, and Johnny Grunge, point blank, told the Sandman to leave the ring. The Sandman whacked Johnny Grunge with the Singapore cane, and Rocco Rock decked the World Heavyweight Champion with one punch. At that point, the Gangsters attacked the Public Enemy, and the stretcher match is on. Johnny Grunge put New Jack through a table, and New Jack was stretchered out of the match. However, at that point in the matchup, Mustafa sprayed Johnny Grunge in the eyes with what we think, we don't know for sure, but it was probably mace. And Johnny Grunge was stretchered out of the ring as well. That left Rocco Rock and Mustafa. Rocco Rock put Mustafa through a table and went for a second drive-by to finish up the matchup and stretcher Mustafa out of the ring. But out of the locker room comes Johnny Grunge, still half blind with mace, and New Jack rolling back towards the ring. The referee and the security in the ECW arena tried to separate them. And at that point, the Sandman attacks Rocco Rock. And Rocco Rock was placed on the stretcher. Therefore, the Gangsters declared the winners and steal another match from the Public Enemy. But Rocco Rock crawled off of the stretcher and suffered yet another beating at the hands of Mustafa and the ECW World Heavyweight Champion, the Sandman. And Mikey Whipwreck at that point returns to the ring, gets the Singapore cane, and started exacting his revenge on the World Heavyweight Champion. This issue involving the Gangsters, the Public.
That is why I did not want to read my notes.
Yeah, I wish you would have told me you were gonna do that, because I fucking wrote everything down.
Dude, it sounds like my next day that I call out of work. I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna play this promo. Be like, I'm sorry, I can't come in, man. Listen to this. This is the reason why.
But yeah, I had it all written down. I had it all written down too, Aaron. And I was looking at it and I was like, I'm not reading this. It's too confusing. So I just figured I'd let Joey describe it. Good job, Joey Styles. That's why you're the man.
Or on like live PD when they pull up and they're like, tell us what happened. And there's just some guy standing outside in the fucking trailer court.
It's always I don't know. I just came home from work. He got his shirt off. Gym shorts on, he's barefoot. I don't know. I just got home, and she's going. Don't get me started on live PD. Fuck. Dude. I don't understand why we don't. I think I do know why we don't have one around where I live, because you would never go to Richland County or Volusia County. It'd just be right here, right where I live. Right there in Colgate and Dundalk, Maryland, right outside of Baltimore. Yeah, but dude, there's a whole lot going on, but nothing going on with Joey Styles.
Yeah, that whole situation with the Gangsters and Sandman and Mikey and et cetera, et cetera. So after all that happens now, Joey lets us know that we're going to hear from the Public Enemy and Mikey Whipwreck, and they do a promo. Public Enemy gives Mikey a Public Enemy jersey, And as they cut your standard Public Enemy promo, Mikey dances around behind them.
Yeah, and they give him like a hoodie, like you live in the hood quiz. And it's like, if New Jack would come up and take your wallet, what would you say? And he's just like, oh, it doesn't have very much money in it, sir, but you can have it, you know. And he's terrified of the gangsters, but then when they ask him about Sandman, he says that he'd fuck him up. Well, he wants to get at Sandman, but he's afraid of
he'd fuck him up. I'm terrified of the gangsters, but I'll fuck up the Sandman. Yeah, you know what? Sandman and New Jack would be a tag team right there. I ain't fucking with either one of them two fucking clowns. You know what I mean? Fuck all that. Mustafa, you could just trick him you can just ask him a question and confuse him. But where's the nearest Exxon? And Mustafa. You know.
Sounds like Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, he's Jar Jar Binks. Jesus. Yeah, that's pretty much him, man. That's what I mean. Except that he was way more of a backstage, behind the scenes. He was a quiet guy, like, you know. He didn't cause any problems in the locker room at all because he was too busy looking for fucking aluminum foil. or anything you can poke holes in aluminum foil for. So yeah, he wasn't fucking with anybody. But New Jack, you know, whatever, man. That ship sailed on that fucking goof. Thanks for coming, Jack. Jerome.
After the promo here, we get Joey back talking about how the arena was filled to capacity for WrestlePalooza. So if you want to get into the next ECW show, they have like a new hotline set up. They say it's like an express hotline or whatever. You know, there's no difference, right?
It starts with 215, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same fucking number. It was Tommy Dreamer's house. It was his mom's fucking phone number. Can you imagine if you had the ECW hotline and you're Tommy Dreamer's mom and you don't even tell her, and then all of a sudden the phone's just ringing like all night. Hello? You know, she's like Janice Rossi. You know, she's living in like Yonkers, you know, New York or whatever. So she's got to be a fucking Yenta to begin with. Hello? Oh, you want to speak to Jerome?
This is Mommy Dreamer. How can I help you?
Who do you want to talk to again? Puccio. There's no big Val here.
Why do I picture her talking like Tony Soprano's mother?
I've never seen an episode of The Sopranos, but if you're talking about some just old Italian woman,
yes,
you know, that stays up all night long making fucking marinara sauce
and cannoli.
Yeah, that's what she's doing. Trying to put fucking 10 pounds of marinara sauce and like 2 pounds of cannolis. I got you.
Well, she did that when she birthed Tommy.
I'm not going there because Tommy still works. Tommy still has a fucking job in the business. I ain't burning that bridge. You never know. I might want to come back out of retirement and work for TNA. I mean, heavens forbid, nobody sees me wrestle anymore anyway. So I can just go to work for TNA and I'd be safe. Nobody would see me.
You have to roll up the foil. You have to roll up the foil that Mustafa would have used, and then you have to get a pair of rabbit ears, and you have to put those on top of your TV.
Yeah, pretty much. And then you got to borrow some sugar from the neighbor. and then after, you know, that's a whole conversation. Why do you need so much sugar?
I gotta watch Impact.
Yes, and you know, how the fuck do you even watch Impact? I don't even mean like physically watch it, like with your eyes, because it's terrible. How the fuck do you do it? You know what I mean? You talk about the rabbit ears, dude. I had to run a cable from my neighbor's house because he's from like Pakistan, and he had some illegal cable hookup. That's the only reason why I see it.
I think they're on the food. I think they're on the Food Network.
No, they're not, because I watch the Food Network. They're not going to bump Bobby Filet for TNA. Bobby Filet has like 48 shows on the Food Network, and not one of them are about TNA. It's about TNA catering. That's what his show's about. That's actually not a bad show, honestly. I'd actually watch that, wouldn't you? I mean, have any of you ever been interested about the catering at a wrestling show?
Of Impact? Not really.
Well, not of Impact. That's Subway. That's just Subway. They just get like one of them big like 10-foot subs and a they get a 10-foot sub and a plastic knife. There's your catering in Subway.
We got some macadamia nut cookies. There you go.
Oh, he's in TNA, right? No, macadamia nuts. He says I have it.
Oatmeal raisin at best.
That's it. That's what you get. You're getting oatmeal raisin cookies.
Well, Nick Aldis gets the macadamia nut.
That's because he smuggles them in his fucking suitcase. He's bringing them over from the pond. Fucking jabroni, Nick Aldis. Oh, the pond. Well, it was so great over there. Why you just skip the pond? Keep your macadamia nuts and go fuck yourself, Nick Aldis. What do you think about that? Former NWA champion. Ooh. You know what? How about this, Nick Aldis? I was a former NWA champion. Where you went? I don't know. Pick a fucking year.
So was the late Tommy Rich.
oh, poor Tommy Rich. I mean, his reign is going to go like. I mean, it's one of them reigns that you don't never forget, and the guy's never going to get credit for it. You know, what was that 5 days?
5 days.
I mean, and I want to see his schedule, his booking sheet. Did John McAdams ever post any of that shit? Like the Tommy Rich booking sheet for the 5 days that he was champion?
Not that I've ever seen, but that doesn't mean he didn't. I just have never seen it.
Well, I mean, what do you think it was? It was probably Columbus, Macon, maybe Savannah, Atlanta, and Charleston. So I could probably pick the dates, the towns that he was in. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, who are the opponents? You know, that you beat. Can you think of anybody?
It wasn't one of those things where he didn't even get to, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't going to be on TV. So maybe he didn't even get to carry the belt with him. Harley just kept the belt.
No, I got like, I think I got one match from him. He had the belt, yeah, because he had to put the deposit down on the belt. Unless, you know, why at that point, why don't you just start getting replica belts? You know, if you're going to get a belt that you think is worth like $30,000, you know, with the gems and the gold and all that stuff, and you're going to put it on Tommy Rich, boy, you know where that belt's going to end up at. You know, I mean, fuck, if you gave it to me, I'm not even a fucking crook. And if you gave me that belt, I'd probably pawned it. For something. But yeah, why don't I just give Tommy Rich a replica belt? That little Luthez belt.
Well, up next on our ECW show, we have Joey Styles at ringside, and he is interviewing Stevie Richards and Raven. Stevie's going on and on about how he has this big news and everything, and essentially his big news is, look at this cool winger shirt. And he says that his girlfriend Francine needs more TV time. And this is going to be the introduction officially. I mean, I know we've seen her before as his girlfriend, but I think this is the first time they've actually said her name, Francine, and introduced her formally, I guess. Stevie leads Joey around ringside, and finally they wind up where Francine is at. And Francine and Beulah proceed to call each other names and have what will become many, many catfights.
Well, she also calls Stevie Sweet Cheeks.
Yeah.
and Joey makes her repeat it because she didn't say it very well into the mic. And I think what they were trying to do was they were trying to get the crowd to pick up on the Sweet Cheeks thing.
Sweet Cheeks. You're right, dude. You're so right.
To chant Sweet Cheeks at Stevie, and it didn't really fucking work.
It didn't work because she didn't have the fucking cadence when she delivered it.
Yeah.
You know, I heard it. And I was like right when I heard Sweet Cheeks, and I just kind of looked up, and I kind of looked for any sort of admiration from the people. You know what I mean? Like, did it get over? And then I realized, it didn't get over. Like, it just blew over their heads. But you're damn right, man, Aaron. They totally wanted Sweet Cheeks to be a thing, which is so fucking bad. I mean, seriously, come on. You're in the ECW arena. You got guys that are bleeding, and you want the crowd to chant "Sweet Cheeks."
Sweet Cheeks.
Fucking awful.
So just I love unintentional comedy. I put in, just because I wanted to see, Chad, you got me interested. I put in Google Tommy Rich NWA title defenses, and it didn't give me shit. But what it did give me was what it did give me was something funny. It said people also ask, "Is Tyrus really the NWA champion?"
Is he really? Is he the champion now?
Yeah.
Tyrus is?
He goes on Fox News with the NWA championship, and yeah.
Dude, how fucking dead is that title?
He has worse knees now than Harley Race.
He has worse knees?
Have you watched that guy walk?
I don't know. I could have thought you said he has worse nieces.
Knees.
Than Harley Race. I don't know anything about his kids.
Harley Race's knees work better now than fucking Tyrus. That NWA shit started out.
Tyrus is the current NWA champion.
Yes, and he's shaped like a chicken lollipop, so I understand why his knees are the way they are.
Dude, he's a bobblehead. Yeah, he's got a big ass fucking head, then he got this little neck, and then he got this big ass. I don't, whatever. He's tired. I guess. I don't know. I don't book that fucking company. Then again, I don't listen to Smashing Pumpkins either.
He looks like a waterbed filled with fucking beef and noodles.
Okay, beef and noodles.
It's a beef and noodle waterbed.
A waterbed full of ramen. All right, that's what he looks like. I'll take that one.
All right, from the beef and noodle NWA champion back to this ECW show. We have a promo next. It's the Pitbulls and Tommy Dreamer. Tommy put a shirt on.
Well, did you see who was recording the
Feinstein?
cat fight? Yeah.
He was just disappointed they were both over 18.
I love you guys call him Feinstein. That's the best. I mean, over here in the Northeast, and according to the Pennsylvania Penal Code, his name is Rob Feinstein.
According to the Pennsylvania Penal Code.
Yeah. According to every little one we talk to. Mr. Feinstein.
Yeah, he was the only one that didn't enjoy the fact that there were two hot chicks fighting.
No shit. He was too busy scouring the crowd for women's kids. Fuck him too. Fuck him and Tyrus.
Fuck him and Tyrus.
They both go fuck themselves. Hey, you know, I had an interaction with Tyrus one time on another show when he was doing a show and a guy that I knew asked me to ask a question to him or something, and I was at my mom's house when I videotaped me asking the question, and it was my mom's sofa that was in the background. And instead of asking the question, he started making fun of me because of the rose petals pattern that was on my mom's sofa. He started making fun of me because he wouldn't answer the question about how I thought he was misused in the WWE or whatever. And he's like, "So what about your mom's sofa?" my mom's sofa. I just
Yeah,
happened to be at my mom's house.
What's your problem? You're shaped like a sofa. So
I know. Seriously, look at your fucking jaw and stuff. You look like you wish you were Keith Lee. Yeah, fuck him. He wishes he had any of the talent of Keith Lee.
Aaron, did you have any notes on the Pitbulls Tommy Dreamer promo?
My only notes are the Pitbulls and Teddy Dreamer cut a promo.
Teddy Dreamer.
Because Tommy didn't wear a shirt, and he should never not wear a shirt because he has tits. Like, Tommy doesn't have pecs. I don't want to knock the guy because
that's from him being a fucking douche, and he did steroids probably once before in his career. I mean, I'm not going to fucking. You're not going to actually put water in this from what I say, but I think it's from him doing steroids once before, and then when you do steroids, you have to work out. You can't just take steroids. And then he got bitch tits, and that's a gimmick from fucking from steroids. Yeah, I think he just thought he could be a lazy man, and I'll just take steroids and I'll get all jacked up and shit. But no, you get titties. You get titties,
and that's what he had. It's like, Tommy, buddy, put your shirt back on because you got hooters, man.
Thanks for the memories, Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah.
It's like when George Costanza first saw the Frank Costanza have man boobs, and Tommy's got to wear the bro. Could you imagine if Tommy Dreamer had to wear a brassiere?
Yeah, Tommy,
and he rips the shirt
Tommy
off.
needed a brassiere.
He tears the ECW shirt off, and he's wearing he's got support.
He's wearing the bro.
How awesome would that have been if Dreamer rips off the ECW shirt and he's got upper support? Yeah.
Tommy definitely needed an over-the-shoulder boulder holder. It was bad.
Well, and you got to figure this is like right in prime Tommy Dreamer period. So, god damn it, it only could have gotten worse, right? And you ever see them motherfuckers that wear them Dolly Parton shirts? Like, I don't know why all of a sudden they are selling these shirts that say Dolly, and it's like a picture of Dolly Parton. Yeah, the same shirt says Tommy, and it's just two big boobs. You've never seen them?
The Dolly shirts?
Yeah.
Well, 70s Dolly was pretty hot.
But big boobs. That's all it is. You don't even see her face. That's all you see with Tommy Dreamer is two big boobs just coming to the ring.
And those big boobs were the Pitbulls.
Oh, he's leading two big boobs to the ring.
His boobs of war. Up next on the show, we get the return to ECW television of JT Smith as he has a match with Hack Myers. And,
should be good.
Of course, the story of the match is they start out wrestling, a fair wrestling match, the scientific wrestling match, as they would have called it in the wrestling magazines back in the day. And JT starts to fight dirty. Of course, Joey talks about how he's been out with an injury and et cetera, and he gives Hack a low blow, and this isn't the JT Smith we know. Any notes on the match other than that, guys?
There you go.
What about fucking JT jumping over the top and catching fucking
yes? That I guess I was going to say. I should have said
and dropping directly onto his fucking face.
That's his gimmick. It's been his gimmick from day one, hasn't it?
So that's what I was going to ask. I'm pretty sure he did it on purpose, but I don't know if he did it on purpose or if it was a fuck up on his point.
No, I think he did it. I think that one was on purpose. Because that came after a string, probably 5, 6 or so of them spots where as you'll see probably going forward, if JT's still with the company, because they know because JT moved a bunch of times, so he was in and out of the company a few times. So, and if this was before the FBI, then this was probably another one of his leavings, whatever, him going away for a while. But yeah, like that was his gimmick. Like that for some reason that guy couldn't clear the top rope.
Yeah, he fucking head plants into the concrete on the outside, and while he's dealing with his new concussion, Big Val Puccio comes in.
Yeah,
this is your boy.
This is the feud that won't die. HD Puccio comes in and
Big Coochie gets involved
and attacks Hack, which gives JT the opportunity to do an elbow off the top rope and beat Hack Myers. And again, this is, you're doing your subtle heel turn for JT, because Joey even mentions he saw that Puccio attacked Hack Myers.
Well, who the fuck didn't see it?
Who wouldn't see him? Yeah,
like fucking Big Val Puccio is not sneaking up on anybody. He's not. Can you imagine that big fat slob creeping up on somebody? Dude, he's fucking what is he? He's 560 pounds?
The guy with the falafel cart sees him coming and just closes up, starts running down the street.
There's no chance that guy changes his clothes. No chance.
He's like 500 pounds and like 5'4".
No, he actually was a big dude. But just the fact that he's so fucking fat is what made him look like Danny DeVito.
He looks like a poop emoji.
He was probably about 6 foot, I guess. He was, yeah, I would say that around 6 foot. But you're like 560 pounds. You know what I'm saying? I'm 5'8" and I weigh 160 pounds.
He literally looks like a poop emoji. Like when he's sitting there after he gets hit with a chair and shit, and he's just like plumped down. It's a fucking human poop emoji.
Dude, I love that when they hit him with the chair, because I was sitting there going like, is he going to go down, and how is he going to go down? Is it going to be a flat bump? Because I'm thinking there's no chance he's taking like a good flat bump. And then literally he just kind of just crumbles and just falls face down. And that fucking shit hurt, because that guy probably never been hit that hard in his entire life. You know what I mean? Like, and he's probably laying there, all 589 pounds of him laying there holding his head going, that fucking shit hurt.
Yeah, my note on that says that we see footage of a match between Puccio and Broad Street Bully. Hack comes out, hits Puccio with the chair, and Puccio starts bleeding marinara sauce.
Yeah, pretty much. People start throwing mozzarella sticks at him. He's just wiping his forehead and eating them. Fuck Val Puccio. He can't still be alive, right? He's dead like the pit bulls.
Yeah, Puccio is dead. We lost him in 2011. I still cannot believe he lived that long.
Well, I mean, when was he born? Yeah, why can't you believe you don't even know how long he was alive?
Well, I look at it. I'm looking at him in '95, and I'm just like, there's no way this guy lived another 16 fucking years.
There's no way he lived another 16 fucking years.
When he died, he was 45. So,
damn, that's a good run. That's a good run with that cholesterol.
He was probably a 38-pound baby.
He was a couple of babies. They just put them all together like Play-Doh.
Like the doctor was like, "We think you're having twins," and then he just like walked out, fucking mom's vagina, and was like, "Hey."
And he comes out with that big fucking long, slick, greasy ponytail. and you're like, you know what? I'm sorry, man, but this kid's never going to get over.
Say, Dad, usually we have you cut the umbilical cord, but we just need you to cut the ponytail.
No, we need you. Well, It's
This is
better
the
than what
fir-
I would
this is
have
the-
to cut off.
This is the first time we've ever issued a sleep apnea machine to a baby.
Yeah, that's right. Just, we wanted to rest. Fucking Valpoosco.
Your fat fucking baby's been through enough. He needs a nap.
He's fucking coming out of the womb eating fucking French fries, shit. Just he's got one of them like, when you get like a foot long and they put it in that little cardboard thing, like with the silver wrapper. He's scooting out of the fucking cooter, eating fucking the last couple of bites of a fucking foot long. Yeah, fuck him too.
We now get a promo from Raven, Stevie Richards, and the Dudley Boys, and they're in a dumpster.
That's right, they are. Oh, maybe they're in Al Pucci's belly.
Raven and Richards essentially cut their standard promos here, and they're challenging Tommy Dreamer and the Pitbulls to an 8-man tag team match. And then of course Dudley cuts a promo, essentially talking about how the Dudleys are servants to the Raven, etc., etc. Go ahead, Aaron.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say Dudley actually did a really good promo.
He's the fucking only Dudley that gave a shit. Before Bubba, he was the only Dudley that had talent. Before Bubba, yeah, I agree with you, Aaron. He knew the gimmick, right? And he knew where they were. He knew that fucking Big Dick was a fucking ass basket right over there, hanging in the background, and yeah, and he was the only one that knew, I think to this day, until Bubba came along, and then Bubba didn't even get it for at least 5 to 6 months. But dude, that Dudley knew that gimmick, right?
Mm-hmm. And this is where they plant the seed. They plant the seed for the Big Daddy Dudley stuff too, because they talk about how Snot is out of action or what have you, and he mentions that's all right. There's plenty of Dudleys around where we're from.
There's plenty of Dudleys, dude. That's a great character, man. That's a great character that it's completely invented. Paul can just take a wrestler X, wrestler B, whatever. You want to be a Dudley, and look at him and be like, you're going to be a Dudley. And that gimmick could never went away. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It seemingly, it could never go away if you didn't want it to, because the whole thing was, what was the gimmick? The father was a Bible salesman or something. And he was on the road going to like trailer parks and shit like that. And that's where the black one came from. Devon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because my father was on the road as being a tchotchke salesman or whatever. And that's where Devon came from. And I was like, dude, this gimmick could never die. You can make this gimmick go on and on forever. You can find a bazillion Dudleys. You can walk down my block and find about 4 Dudleys.
There's a Cuban Dudley, a Romanian Dudley,
a Pakistani Dudley, carpet riding Dudley is what we call them.
Gypsy Dudley.
Yeah, it's a fucking Dudley. I went over to a store just called Dudley's. So a bunch of
I really put my notes that I thought Dudley was like the shining star of this fucking promo, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was, dude. Like that's what I'm saying. He's the only one that got the gimmick. He was definitely the only one that could talk. And I don't know what the problem was, because the other Dudley, whatever his name is, the one that left, that was Anthony Michaels. After he left, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I have no idea what happened there. I probably do. It's probably over travel. That's probably why he was gone. But you remember him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was probably going over travel. So then Bradley was the guy they brought in from Florida, who probably either half paid or whatever. But he was the guy that I said he got the gimmick. He understood it. And it didn't. It just so happened they stuck him with two fucking, I don't know, I guess ham bones, for lack of a better word. You know what I mean? Big Dick, and who was the other one?
Snot at this point.
Snot.
I don't even know who was Snot.
Shit.
Look it up.
But yeah, and then I mean, eventually, as time goes on, we're gonna get dances with Dudley and Sign Guy, and there's another one I think other than Bubba and Devon too, isn't there? God, I can't remember.
No, yeah, there's a ton of them. Yeah, there was Feinstein, Dudley too.
That was Diddley, not Dudley.
Oh,
Diddley.
it was Feinstein, Diddley.
I hate to correct you, Chad, but
I stand corrected with my. Yeah, they just had. There was Chubby. Don't forget Chubby.
Yeah, Chubby Dudley. Yes.
Yeah,
Snot
Dudley
was the Anthony Michaels guy.
All right, well then it was the other ones. Because I know Anthony Michaels was actually pretty talented. He worked Smoky Mountain. He was a TV guy, but I mean, at that point, who were the other ones?
I'm gonna look it up.
He's gonna look it up. All right, we'll wait.
Well, while Aaron's looking it up, we have a segment here. Tommy Dreamer and the Pitbulls are with Joey Styles at ringside, discussing about they've accepted the challenge for the 8-man match or the 8-person tag match, but their partner Luna is stuck in Florida, I think they say, because of a hurricane. But they have a different partner, and it is Cactus Jack. And Cactus cuts out and cuts a promo. You know, he makes a joke about Big Dick and Sweet Cheeks, of course, with Stevie Richards. And
Sweet Cheeks, Daddy.
But as he goes on, he will not say anything negative about Raven. He is putting Raven over. He refuses to say anything negative about Raven. And here's where I think the misstep was in this whole promo thing, because it makes sense, seeing as what we're going to see when we see the finish, that he's putting Raven over. But what I picked up on was Tommy Dreamer doesn't have good psychology, because his partner begins to put over his sworn rival, and Tommy doesn't even give so much as an inquisitive expression about why Cactus would be saying positive things about his friend or his enemy. Like, wouldn't your psychology sense tell you that even if you're not supposed to, you would want to try to at least react to what Cactus is saying with a little bit of befuddlement? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, especially like at least shoot him a look.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, nothing. He's just Cactus Jack, yeah.
Like, look at him and be like, you could always discuss it later. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You could always, like the guy's cutting the promo and he's heated, blah, 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 blah. Then he's like, well, Raven's a great wrestler or whatever, and he just gave me that look. Huh? What? You would figure at some point between Scranton and Piscataway, they would have a conversation in the car. Well, what are you doing with that? What was that all about?
Yeah, but Dreamer gives us nothing on that psychology front.
That's because Tommy Dreamer's the fucking greatest wrestler of all time. Not at all. Said Val Puccio yesterday.
He's got 2 ponytails.
Fucking jabroni.
Aaron, did you get your Dudley info up yet, or should I keep going?
You got more Dudleys? Hey, I was a Dudley. You know that? I was a Dudley.
Here's all the Dudley members. There's Dudley, Big Dick Dudley, Little Snot Dudley, Dances with Dudley, Bubba Ray Dudley, Chubby Dudley, Sign Guy Dudley, Devon Dudley, Studley Dudley, Spike Dudley.
That was Joe Gertner.
Right. Yeah. Butch Dudley, Luke Dudley, and Lady Dudley.
And I was a Dudley. They don't have Chabu Dudley, do they?
Chad was Studley Dudley.
No, I teamed with
He was nearly Dudley. You were nearly Dudley.
No, I was near a Dudley. That's what it was me. It was me and dancing with Dudley against the Gangsters. I think it was against the Gangsters or the Public Enemy, something like that. Yeah, so I was a Dudley. I just thought tie-dye was too passe. Yeah, I ain't down with that shit.
Well, they show us highlights of this 8-man tag team match. It's Raven, Richards, and the Dudleys against the Pitbulls, Tommy Dreamer, and Cactus Jack. And, of course, as usual with these matches, there's a lot going on, so I just wrote down, there's a lot going on as usual. But the finish...
It's great as an analyst. There's a lot going on.
As usual. Tommy Dreamer...
Like you said, the story...
Go ahead, Aaron.
The story of the match is that Cactus respects Raven, and Raven at the beginning of the match talks about feeling Cactus's pain, and Cactus is basically drinking
living
the
his
Kool-Aid.
pain.
Yeah, and Cactus is drinking the Kool-Aid. So Cactus is willing to beat up Big Dick. He's willing to beat up Dudley. He's willing to beat up whenever Ravens, and he won't do anything. And this is more of psychology-wise, Tommy Dreamer being a fucking waterhead and not knowing what's going on.
Manager's fucking Marty Funk. That's Tommy Dreamer's manager. Yeah, he's like you said, he's drinking the fucking Kool-Aid. I mean, that's pretty much the gist of any good angle when if it involves manipulating somebody, that's how you get any good angle. But it's like you got guys that are as smart as these motherfuckers, And dude, you can manipulate me all you want. I don't give a fuck. I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But you figure Cactus Jack and Raven are like two of the smartest guys in the business. It's going to take a lot to manipulate them. You just don't talk to them about how somebody thinks, oh, they're talking bad about you or whatever. You just don't think of them guys being easily manipulated. Yeah, you can get me to do anything. A couple of beers, shots, or whatever, I'll do anything.
But like Aaron said here, at the end of the matchup, Tommy Dreamer gets a pile driver on Raven on the chair, but Cactus Jack attacks Raven from behind, or Tommy from behind. I'm sorry, double arm DDT, and once again, Tommy Dreamer gets pinned by Raven. This time with Cactus Jack turning on Tommy, and then a great Cactus Jack promo follows this up.
Good job, Jack. Yeah. I mean, I would normally let you go, Aaron, but yeah, great job by Jack. Like he knows how to get stories, get stuff over.
I love the opening line of the promo. I was 2 hours late to the show because even though I've been here before, I couldn't find my way to the arena.
Yep.
Yeah. What a great fucking line.
It's like he couldn't bring himself to do, like that's what he's saying. I couldn't bring myself to do what I knew I was coming there to do.
Mm-hmm.
He knew for weeks, days, whatever it was, he was booked there, and just for him to say like, I just didn't, he couldn't find the arena or whatever because he didn't want to be there. He knew he was going to fuck somebody up,
and he was, selling the fact that he's taking so many fucking bumps and this, that, and the other thing that he can't remember shit and everything. And I don't know if they were planting the seeds now for him, like doing the whole anti-hardcore thing yet, but it's getting there. You know what I mean? About him, like you guys Kane Dewey, and you don't think I feel pain, but I feel pain. Like it's really good shit. Like this
we
fucking promo.
We haven't had Kane Dewey yet, right?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Is like I don't know if it's just happenstance that it rolls into it, or if Paul was doing some long-term booking shit in his mind of like what he was doing with Mick.
All right, let me ask you, Aaron. What do you think? What do you think, honestly? Do you think that was already something that was talked about? Or do you think that was something that may have been sprung or spun after the fact? You know what I mean?
I think it was after the fact.
You think he thought about it
I
after
think
he
it
cut
was
that promo?
Yeah, I think it was. Oh shit! Look how good this guy. Like I knew Paulie knew how good Mick was when he brought him in, but I think once that promo hit, it was like, okay, now we can keep going forward with this. You know what I mean?
And then Jack out of nowhere brings in Dewey, and then he's like, and then Paul's like, you know what? All right, cool. Let's go with it, right?
Yeah.
Let's go with it. All right, yeah, that's cool, man. I mean, I don't really have an opinion because I never really thought about it. But yeah, that's why I asked you what you thought. But yeah, you make a lot of sense. And you're probably right.
And yeah, the gist of this is, Jack goes through his injuries. He goes through how his best friend Shane Douglas betrayed him and left ECW, and he's in a lot of pain. And the only person that understands his pain is Raven. And there's the punchline right there. You know, he got. It's what Jack does with a promo. He got to the fucking point, and you never think, oh, he's rambling. You never think, oh, he made a mistake there. Because even if he makes a mistake, it sounds like he was supposed to make the mistake.
Right.
I mean, one of the great promo guys of all time.
It's a tapestry. Like all of his promos are like a tapestry. It's like it all just, or like a fucking
he has
quilt
beer?
story. No, it's like this part is going to tell this part, and then it works into this, and it comes down to the end. And when you're hearing it, it seems incoherent, but by the time he's done with it, you're like, "Holy shit, that was a fucking work of art."
That's because Mick Foley is not like a lot of people in the wrestling business. He connects the dots. You know, he connects the dots. WWE leaves you like, I don't know, pick an angle. You can poke holes in all their storylines and stuff, but Cactus tells you this is why this is going on, because that's his job. I mean, that's his livelihood, considering he wasn't under contract by anybody at that point, you know?
Right.
Probably not Titan at the time. So he was making sure that his shit was, I'm staying over.
Exactly.
Over.
It says Mick Foley on the 1099.
Yeah. But you guys understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
He's connecting the dots because he's not going to fucking go do any bullshit half-ass, outlaw mud show stuff. And have, I'm sure he did, but nothing on the level of ECW.
So overall, guys, I know we veered off the path a few times when we were discussing this episode, but overall, what did we think of this episode of ECW? I gave it a B-. I mean, it's it's advancing things in the right direction. We're starting to get some layered storyline telling.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. I mean, I'm a constant C guy. Always constant C, because I just can't wait for that A show. And I'm not gonna hold out and just keep giving everybody B's and B- and stuff like that. It's always going to be a C for me, but this was a solid C+ in my opinion. It's probably one of the better shows than I given a review for, or at least a rating for I've given. What about you, Donkey?
B+.
All right, there you go. See, that's fair. So we're all basically in the same ballpark. It was a good show, and we all can agree that ECW has definitely got better things on the horizon.
Yes, we can't. We've now driven far enough. We can no longer see Cabrini behind us. It's
the death of Val Puccio is coming up. Are we doing a show about that by any chance?
What's crazy to me is Val Puccio actually outlived ECW. Gee.
Yeah, that's they outlived. Oh, I outlived him. They're right. Dude, I'm on a fucking lot of motherfuckers. I've squashed a lot of people's Deadpools. I got friends like twice a week that will text me that I fucking that I've outlived, like the dead pools. I didn't know I was even on anybody's dead pools.
Well, Val Puccio probably emptied a lot of local pools.
Oh, totally, dude. Could you imagine a cannonball by that fucking motherfucker?
Or going down the slide.
And you got Big Guido like fucking being his front man, clearing all the little kids out of the way.
Yeah.
And then here comes Big Val Puccio.
It's like a white Norbit.
Him walking into a buffet. It's got to be fucking on sight.
Like, oh, we're going out of business.
Yeah, you got cooks. You got nobody that speaks English all yelling.
It makes me think of John Panette when he talks about going to the all-you-can-eat Chinese place, and the guy's like, "You've been here 4 hours. You go now."
Yeah, it's his third time that day because they have the buffet from like 12 to 4, so it comes from 12 to 4, and then he had the dinner buffet from like 6 to like 9. So then he goes home, and then he goes back at 6.
He doesn't even go home. He just sleeps in the parking
He goes
lot.
to the other buffet, the one that's open while they're fucking closed.
Or he sleeps in the parking lot.
Oh, I can totally see that. He's got to have sleep apnea. Somebody that big, fat, and pathetic's got to have sleep apnea. He has to. Like he can just fall asleep with a cheesesteak in his hand while he's sitting in his big ass like Caprice. His classic Caprice, because he's not driving a fucking Ford Fiesta. He ain't driving one of them. He's got one of them old police cars, and he's got cheesesteak stains on his fucking lapels. He don't change his clothes. No chance. Like he's so fat, somebody's probably got to wipe his ass. Whose job is that?
Hunter Q. Robbins.
Oh, is that what he's doing? Hunter Q. Robbins is wiping Val Puccio's ass.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
He's like, I found the one thing that smells worse than my breath. It's Val Puccio's ass.
Hey, what about Stevie Wonderful? What is he doing? Or Jay Sully? Jay Sully wipes. There you go. There's a product right there.
Sully and Puccio can bond over the fact that they're both sweating so much.
I think Sully would be a drinking buddy of Pucci. He wouldn't be wiping. I think it's Hunter Q.
Yeah, Hunter Q stinks. I don't know. I mean, literally Hunter Q smells. I don't know about Jay Sully. But he stunk as an announcer, and he stunk at knowing his job, and whatever. At least he didn't smell in public like Hunter Q. God, he smelled like old coffee. God, I mean, that's what he smelled like. He smelled like old Arabica beans.
All right, we're gonna sign off. Any parting words, Aaron, Chad? Any parting words for our listeners this week?
Hey, dude, we don't sell us short there, Mr. Nate. Why don't you tell the listeners how far we have come as a podcast? Who are we beating? Where are we at on the Apple rankings? Come on.
Oh, yes.
Put us over for a chance.
I did put in our Facebook group a couple of weeks ago. We beat Ryback's dumbass. We were 117. He was 118. The podcast rankings go up and down. We're always in. You can only see the rankings from Apple. You can't see like Spotify or anything. But on the rankings for Apple, we're generally in the top 200. We have peaked. Our peak position was 88. There was a week.
Yeah, I remember when we broke the top 100 before. But just the fact that you sent that screenshot out about us and Ryback, I don't know who was ahead of us. I have to go back and look and laugh at that one. Probably it was ahead of us. But the fact that we beat Ryback was classic. It's all because of our great listeners. We don't do this shit because we want to talk to each other. Wink, wink. We do this shit, to put out a good show, and when the people respond, they respond, and we're very appreciative of all that. We wouldn't still be doing this if nobody listened.
No,
Fuck,
exactly.
we were
When mute.
597th on the list or whatever. We'd probably be questioning, all right, why are we still doing this?
Why are we still doing this?
But we're making great strides, and 118. That ain't nothing. I would celebrate that. I did. I mean, I also celebrated the fact that I got up today. But that's besides the fact. But you know what I mean.
Mhm.
That's not. I mean, who's above us? There's Meltzer, there's Cornette, but there's Matt Hardy, a bunch other wrestling people like that. Fuck yeah, fuck. Nobody knows who either one of us are. For us to be 118th in my book, that's a win-win.
Yeah, and the other thing is, and again, it's you take baby steps, but it's like we've discussed before. Podcasting is not an exact science, and it's not something anybody except say Jim Cornette or Brian Last are going to make a living off of. But it is like Chad said, it's nice to know that people are listening. It's nice to know we're entertaining you because, again, why else would we do this? And also there is stuff that doesn't make every episode, like some of the conversations that we have before we start or some of the conversations we have after we're done. We have a Patreon page now. You can go to patreon.com/reliving the extreme. And for $5 a month, you can get the unedited video and audio versions of the show. I want to start doing some bonus shows for Patreon. There's actually a tier on there where if you wanted to, you could come join us, Three Stooges, and be a co-host periodically.
Right on. I totally agree because I mean when you say that Patreon thing, the first thing everybody thinks of is, all right, we want a handout.
Right.
Or
yeah.
we want no, that's not what we're asking for. It's that money helps us make the show better. That money goes into research, and other forms of stuff. Sometimes these guests aren't free that we get on the show. So the Patreon, it's not like we're just like this is like our job. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, hell, I pay for the StreamYard thing. I pay $50 a month out of my pocket for it.
See, there you go. You got to get 10 of you to fucking pay for that.
Right. Yes. This is a money losing proposition, but we do it because we love wrestling and it's entertaining and we have fun doing it, obviously, and we like entertaining you all.
Yeah, there's no chance I'm just going to pull up on the podcast driving a new Cadillac like I'm fucking the dude from Goodfellas after the Lufthansa heist. and have Miss Jess get out of the car. Yeah, listen, I got podcast money. Would you look at this? I told you don't buy anything.
You're jumping into the pool.
Yeah, I'm not Murray. Yeah, but yeah, it's a great thing.
Nate's gonna show up hitting you with a fucking phone, and I'm just laughing my ass off.
Give me my money. Yeah, but like you said, stop.
Because I feel if we were Goodfellas,
you would be.
Yeah. And you're Joe Pesci.
Me?
And Nate's fucking you're Joe Pesci and Nate's fucking Robert De Niro.
Nate's Robert De Niro? Well, who's Paulie? Archie Mitchell?
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm not going to be in that fucking family.
Archie Mitchell. Archie Mitchell is played by Paul Sorvino.
Oh my God! And who'd you say I was? I'm Tommy.
No, I'm Joe Pesci. No, I'm Ray Liotta. You're Tommy.
Oh, so I get fucking whacked walking into my wrestling room.
Yeah.
I get hit over the head with a Best of Tommy Dreamer tape.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm just laughing my ass off at you guys. You know what I mean?
All right, well, I disagree, but whatever. You can you can be fucking Tommy all day or Ray Liotta all you want.
Yeah, I'm totally in. There's no way.
Well, who's Janice Rossi? Is that Kendall?
I'll ask her. I'll ask her. She's gonna go, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
See, I don't know if you have a girlfriend or anything, Aaron, and I'm not throwing my boyfriend under the bus on this one. So Kendall's the only one that I knew. Nate.
If there was another person, if there was another lady involved with Nate, she definitely would. She'd be like, "You fucking whore and 5 days. Come back and talk to me." Like, yeah, she would definitely be that chick.
You have a whole living in a 2600 arena. Is this the superintendent? Maxon. Aaron.
Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week.